Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can have or run success. Today, I'm going to be doing a recording with Dr. Temitope Ekundayo. Dr. Temitope Ekundayo just joined our team. Not long ago, I advertised that I needed a postdoc to work with me. And after going through all the people that applied, I selected Dr. Temitope. I didn't know him before, though he knew me. I think I remember when I went back to my former university where I was working before, the few time I spent there after I finished my PhD, he saw me, but I didn't recognize me until he told me recently. And I think I said, let's just do a recording with him to share with us from his experience, advice on how one can get opportunities after you finish your PhD, job opportunities. And he will also be telling us other things, maybe about his PhD research. So let's just get started. Doc, can you just tell us about yourself?
Ekundayo Temitope Cyrus. I had opportunity to attend Federal University of Technology, Nigeria, Akure, Nigeria, and also finished my PhD in University of Forte, South Africa in 2019.
That's fantastic. And you did your PhD, I think, in microbiology. Can you just tell us about your PhD and the topic and the significance of the work that you did?
Thank you so much. My work is on Plasmodium physiologies, the viral distribution in some fresh water in Eastern Cape. Plasmodium physiologies is an emerging pathogen that is not well studied, but in the recent time, there is an increase in the clinical manifestation of this pathogen. So I decided to look into it. Anyway, that was not my initial proposal, but that was my supervisor's idea that we should work on it. But myself, I have interest in enzyme biotechnology or enzyme related work. So I have to take up the challenge to study it, and while reading on it, I discovered it's an interesting area to work on because it's an emerging pathogen. And the truth about emerging pathogen is that normally people don't in clinical diagnosis, they don't usually target them, and in such a way they remain as a kind of occult biohazards in infections, or when they normally get to diagnose them by chance, when most medical intervention has failed. And so that is one of the reasons. So we decided to look at it, the distribution in water, in fresh water, because this fresh water, people drink them directly and they can be exposed to this infectious agent. And another thing with the pathogen is that the virulent gene has not been established, even using animal model. And so I decided to use a kind of pathogenomic approach in which we do a kind of a comparative genomics of available genomes of Plasmodium physiologies with known human pathogen. And we discovered some virulence gene. Some of the ORF in the microorganism that is having homology and or autology with most virulence gene in established pathogens like E. coli, Salmonella, and others.
Fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
I also try to do a kind of a risk microbial quantitative risk assessment. You take a glass of water, what is the chance of getting infection with the microorganism? So we also try to, because it's a single species pathogen, we're trying to know different strains that is specific to one that is virulent and the one that is not virulent. So we use a kind of genotyping tool to actually trying to get signatures of different strains. So the work we are not able to finish it, but I read a paper recently in which somebody did something similar, and he was able to come out with even a product which I wanted to do, but because of the funding for the research, was not able to cover that aspect. We were not able to do, but unfortunately, somebody has published something around it and has even have a product presented.
Is it the same pathogen on the same pathogen?
Yes, yes. So this guy has patented the product. I'm not sure, maybe they patented the product, but they developed the product that can distinguish the pathogenic one from non-pathogenic one.
Fantastic, yeah. You know, when I saw your CV, it stood out from all the people that applied, and it's very, very important for people that are looking for job opportunities to think about that you need to stand out. You have so many PhD graduates looking for opportunities, so many PhD graduates. So if you really want to get a position, how can you be an extraordinary PhD graduate? That's what everybody must be thinking about when you're looking for, job opportunities. Can you tell us from your experience how people looking for job opportunities, what advice you have for them? How can they get opportunities?
Thank you so much, sir. I think the PhD period is for people to learn how to source for information and use them appropriately. So, and aside from the main work you are doing, one is to acquire skills that are relevant. So for example, during my PhD, I did one review, which is narrative. Unfortunately for me, that same year, 2016, a group of professors, they were all professors, they came up with one comprehensive review on the pathogen. So mine was, as a student, how can you compare yourself with 4 professors? These are clinicals, professor practicing and doing clinical research. So it was a big job for me, and we sent it to several journals. It wasn't considered. The few ones that are ready to consider it, it was sent to, I think one editor told me that they sent it to 17 reviewers, but they are not willing to review because of these new people. This paper is. So now, and we have this culture in my lab that before you can even proceed, you must publish a good review into your lab work. So it remains, I have to consult with people, and I started learning. So one of my mentor introduced me to a method which is commonly used in social science. So I started reading, and it get to a time that I need to learn how to write codes. I taught myself everything. So that is one of the challenges that people need to take. Then during the PhD period, people have opportunity to attend summer school, trainings, at least if not sponsored directly, it will be subsidized. Like Welcome Trust, a lot of trainings that people can attend. So with that, you can acquire more skill that will make you stand out when you are applying for PhD, because people there are looking for skills, not actually certificate. Another thing when you want to stand out is to at least make sure you publish in a good journal.
Yeah.
That is one of the criteria to show that you are a good scientist. So one is to publish, and don't let the pressure that you want to publish, just dump your papers to where it can be accepted in a short time with, and there is no much impact of such journal. And so one needs to look at that. Although all these high quality journal might take time, might waste your time. Sometimes you might send paper that can take up to 8 months before the completion of review, and so you must be willing to sacrifice those things. So aside from learning from science, this thing I found it productive. Reading work from other fields. If you are a scientist, pick up studies in sociology,
Yeah.
human relation. So from there, you can learn something there that you can adapt it in your field that will make you stand out.
Yeah.
So most of my learnings in coding is prompted by something I read from maybe management science
Mm.
and other fields like that, like structural equation modeling.
Mm.
It's one of the papers that I read that it was, I think it's on education, whatever. So I learned it. So, okay, how can we apply it in science? I was able to apply it. Then a lot of things that one needs to pick. Those are the issue of your you need, one is also to to engage in voluntary service
Mm.
that you know you can get skill. That is one
Yeah.
of the way that you promote yourself. Then you can do internship, either you are paid or not. If you know that you can acquire relevant skill, it's one of the way to go. Then sometimes we look for free skills. You can pay for something that you need that will enhance your skill. I remember my trip to China. Once I have interest in metabolic engineering, I said my background is in enzyme
Mm.
related studies. So I have interest in metabolic engineering, and so there is a Professor Lin Yin in China. He's very good at that one. I've written him several times. I want to be his PhD student, but he refused. He didn't even reply my message. So no, I I saw one advert on Meta related to it. He was the one hosting it. So I had to pay my way through
Mm.
to China
That's it.
just to acquire that. So during that period, you had to spend. Now I
Mm.
remember too, then the issue of information, the issue of getting information from colleagues. Now I got to know about. I went to Morocco for a training on um, geographical related geographic GIS. So he just told me, and I write my motivation why I want to learn it. Everything was paid for. So we need to connect with our friend, get information, and those things make us stand out.
Yeah, you
Thank
said it all. You said it all, Dr. Ekundayo. Is powerful, powerful. You know, one of the things you said the other time about paying yourself. I mean, paying your way. If you want to go abroad, maybe for a course, you can pay your way. Not waiting for someone to pay for you. Jim Rohn says something:
you.
never begrudge the money you spend on your education. You know, I believe that you don't have to be waiting for people uh, to sponsor you. If you have people to sponsor you, good for you. But if you don't have people that will sponsor, you can save and sponsor yourself, because that will make you to stand out. I remember then when I was doing my PhD, I was able to sponsor myself to so many places. You know, the first time I got to South Africa, I traveled to IceJeb in Italy for a training. There was another time I traveled to United States of America for a training on food and health entrepreneurship. You know, I think some of those trainings really, you know, helped me to stand out. Maybe when I wanted to do my interview. So it's very, very important for you to always think about what will make you to stand out, and also publish, like you said, in good journals. I will always recommend that you want to choose journals that are listed on the Web of Science or Scopus. You want to choose those good journals to publish in, especially if you want to work in academia. Like you also said, talked about the importance of skills and certifications that are very, very important. And also, not everybody will be able to work in academia, because you don't have a lot of positions that are available. And people that are working in academia, these people, maybe some of them will retire by the time they are 70, 65. So, and we're producing many, many PhD graduates. So PhD graduates should also be thinking of working outside academia. You should position yourself to work outside academia. Look for what they are looking for. Like you said the other time about volunteering, you can volunteer. Then if you look for a job and you don't find a job, why don't you start something? Somebody says, if there's no door, build a door. You know, why don't you start something? And I would recommend, if you're hearing this, you're doing your master's, you're doing your PhD, begin to think about what job, what thing, what can I start if I don't find a job? What company can I start if I don't find a job? You should begin to think about that, especially in Africa, where you have high rate of youth unemployment, especially in South Africa, I think about 60% youth unemployment. So, and you should be thinking about that. You should look at a problem in your environment, problem in your community, and think about a solution. Think about how you can solve the problem. And some of the skills you have acquired during your PhD, like critical thinking skill, like problem solving skill, how to write research problem, how to come up with problem statements. You can use all those skills to look at problems in your community and think about jobs to be done. Because when you find jobs to be done by people, then you can solve a problem. Look at the people that started Airbnb, you know, and there's so many companies we can start online, you know, and they just built that website. With about 4 friends came up with that website, and is $1 billion, more than $1 billion business today. So there's a lot of things we can do. You must not give up, and most importantly, you must pray. I believe in God. If you are hearing me, you don't believe in God, there is God. You must pray to God to give you wisdom. But don't give up. If you are a PhD graduate, you've been applying for positions, you have not been able to get something, don't give up. And then try something, start something. Start small, but think big. Doc, do you have anything you would still want to share with us? Your closing remark?
Well, I will advise everyone looking for academic position to also enroll in mentorship with good academic professors that can help. most especially for us in Africa, we lack this issue of mentorship. You get to know how to write paper by trial. In most cases, they don't train you how to do that, and they don't even tell you this is where to publish, this is where not to publish. So if your target is to work in academics, it's just a normal thing, publish or perish. So, and don't just publish in good journals. So, and another thing is want to go into industry. Industry is different from laboratory. So the need to enroll, look for internship for that setting. Or you can also, if you can tailor your PhD in this industrial link PhD, that might be very useful. So I think with that and God on your side, everything will work well.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks, Dr. Ekundayo, for taking time out to do this recording and to speak to my viewers. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And to our viewers, I hope you've learned one of the things from our conversation today. We'd like to hear from you. See you next time. God bless you. Bye.